That's really excited to be here with you on one of the first Hispanic Executive shoots. Wanted to talk to you a little bit today about employee resource groups, something that you and I both know very well. But for the folks who are going to be listening in, can you start out a little bit by maybe defining what you see as what are these employee resource groups, so that way folks get a good foundation for what we're going to be talking about?
Absolutely, and first of all, it's a pleasure to be here with you. So many things that we've done together and wanting to advance the Latino executive in so many ways, and actually the affinity groups play a really key role in that. Affinity groups really help bring together affinities that have some sort of identity connection.
Okay.
So it could be based on race and ethnicity, it could be on gender, it could be on sexual orientation, a variety of things, and they are indeed Latino or Hispanic affinity groups as well. And they get together to not only have camaraderie and connection, but actually to support each other in the particular challenges and opportunities that they face in the workplace because of their particular identity. So we can talk about Latinos in the United States, but really we need to be talking about what is the Latin American emerging market and what role, if any, does a Latino affinity group can have in terms of thinking globally about their contribution to the organization. In what ways have you seen in all your vast work with ERGs specific examples of ERGs, particularly Latino ERGs, contributing to the business in that kind of way?
I see them doing that particularly in two ways. One is having the Hispanic ERGs help provide insight into the Hispanic consumer, right? Because if you think about it, who knows the Latino consumer psyche better than another Latino or Latina, right?
Who are also consumers themselves.
Yeah, exactly. So what's happening is these organizations are turning to their Latino employee resource groups almost as internal focus groups. And they're doing to get these consumer insights.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about a $1.2 trillion acquisitive power today, that's where companies really want to be.
Yeah.
We have found in our work that we're now being brought in to actually help penetrate the Latino market and other diverse markets for the very reasons you said. And in our work, we talk about, well, how can you leverage the affinity groups to help you in the ways that you just talked about? And it's a very powerful proposition.
I think you need a focus there, because without that emphasis on commerce, these ERGs really, quite honestly, are never going to get the credibility and respect that they deserve. But it can't be just unilateral. It has to be a well-balanced aspect.
Robert, you have so much experience in ERGs, and you're renowned in the field of affinity groups. What is your experience, explicitly?
Oh, wow. My experience with these employee resource groups is actually quite personal. For some of you may recall my background, but I was born in Texas, but I grew up in Minnesota. Great place to live, great place to grow up, but at that time did not have a very large Hispanic Latino community. So when I joined the workforce, there weren't many other Latinos like me. And fortunately, one of my early employers had one of these Hispanic employee resource groups. And I didn't know what they were, but my mentor at the time thought it might be good for me to join, to meet others like me. And to be honest, onto this, I don't think I would be here today without some of those early initial experiences that I had with my Hispanic employee resource group for a couple reasons. One is it helped to alleviate maybe some sense of isolation that I had early on because I didn't see many people like me. It helped me develop almost a sense of community with some other folks. It helped me feel stronger in my own sense of identity. But how about you? I'd love to hear your experience with these employee resource groups.
Based on the affinity group work with the Latino group and my relationship with the CEO, that launched now what became a career in diversity inclusion in a very unexpected but very fulfilling and passionate way.
Yeah. And in your work today, do you get a chance to work with organizations and their employee resource groups?
Well, absolutely. My specialty now at Korn Ferry is that I work with the C-suite on enterprise-wide and global diversity and inclusion strategy. And out of that strategy, how does it cascade down into operational programs such as affinity groups? So my area, and the thing that really gets me excited about the connection between enterprise-wide strategy and affinity groups, is that connection to help the executives see that in order to attract greater diversity, retain it, develop, advance it, and see diversity and inclusion, the affinity groups play a really integral part in that. And then in the launch of affinity groups in the context of that strategy, then those affinity groups are sure to be grounded in that reciprocal give and take that we talked about earlier.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I will tell you is that externally, you are seen as a thought leader with regards to employee resource groups. I know I've had the privilege of kind of co-writing white papers with you on the topic, and I know you dedicate a significant aspect of your book to employee resource groups. So I hope you continue that work, because I know it benefits many others.